So we've got the holder in the right position. Now we need to get the blocks themselves the right distance from the two sides of the blade. Now I want to push the left guide block over as close to the blade as I can without actually moving it. So watch, I'm going to go a little too far. You see the blade move? That's not right. I'm not supposed to be biasing its travel path. So come in just about touching without any major movement. Then tighten that set screw. Now I'm going to move the lower left guide block into the blade. I don't want to push the blade away like that. I want to stay away. Another way to know that you're almost touching the blade but not quite is to see if you can push the blade a little bit to the left to hit the block. See how there's just a tiny bit of play there? That means I'm extremely close but not actually touching. That's the perfect place to put it. And tighten the set screw. Now I feel pretty strongly that the left guide block should always be set first, both on the top and the bottom. Think of it this way, the left side of the blade is always sitting on the two wheels, the two tires. So that is a fixed set point that the blade has to stay at. If I push this block too far over to the right, then it's going to push the blade away and it's going to be completely in the wrong place. And it's even worse if you push one of them too far and not the other, because now your blade is going to be on a funny angle. Of course, you don't always have this block at the same height, because this guide area goes up and down depending on the thickness of the wood you're cutting. So the angle of the blade would even change as you change cutting height. All right, so we set the left one as close to touching the blade as possible, but not quite, so there's just the tiniest bit of flex. Then we worry about bringing the right ones up to it. All right, let's give it a try. Now that is a really thin piece of veneer there. Of course, when you're going to go this thin, it's quite critical that you try to get the fence square to the table so that your veneer is consistent in thickness across. One of the reasons people like making their own veneer is that the veneer you buy that's already made for you at the mill is incredibly thin. You can make it a little thicker with your own bandsaw, book match it yourself, and then you have a little more thickness to work with on your veneered pieces when it comes to things like sanding. Now here, where I was cutting at a fairly good clip, I could tell that the motor was able to handle it. There's not much of a burning kind of look to it. Here there was a significant burn and even a deeper groove where I stopped completely to grab the push stick. And then at the end, I always like to push slow so that I don't, blast out the back end. And you can see that if you go too slow, you get some burning because you're just creating too much heat if you stay in one spot too long.